What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Big Boy John 25, and tonight I'm going to do my WWE Raw review. And highlights you guys new. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, and let's get started. Raw opens with the announcer explaining that Randy Orton will come face to face with Drew McIntyre later tonight, but as they taking the lights go out, they came back and they apologized for technical difficulties. Apollo Crews makes his return to Monday Night Raw and comes to the ring, but the lights go out again. Once again, they came back up, and Tom Phillips says it is the results of weather difficulties in Florida. Before the match begins, MVP says he is the real United States champion because Apollo didn't even show up to his title defense at Extreme Rules. He tells Apollo that after tonight, their beef is over and he can go back to hanging with Ricochet and Cedric Alexander and catering. The United States Championship match: Apollo Crews versus MVP. This match was decent, but at the same time, I did not really care. The match gets underway and the lights keep dimming and kicking back up. They lock up. MVP takes Lashley Apollo down and tries to lock in the choke, but Apollo Crews elbows him. Apollo pins MVP for a 2 count and then taunts him. Apollo takes the risk and tries to ground MVP, and a baller fires back with a forearm. Apollo Crews rips MVP to the ropes, but Lashley and Benjamin pull him under the ropes and outside. Crews follows up with the tope over the rope onto all three as we head to the break. Back to commercial. Back live, and MVP has Apollo in the neck crank submission. Crews fights to his feet, but MVP taunts him inside out, and they score a 2 count. MVP slams Apollo Crews, then stomps him a few times, and a suplex earns MVP a 2 count. And again the lights started dimming. Apollo Crews is whipped to the corner, but he avoids a kick, and he hits a flying crossbody. Apollo lifts MVP, but went up getting German suplex. Somewhat out of nowhere, Apollo hits the toss powerbomb for the win. The winner of the match, Apollo Crews. The winner of the match in your new United States title, Apollo Crews. Alright, let me move on. Crews has won both United States champion, but it comes Lashley who grabs him with the full Nelson. Apollo fights him off before he slaps hand and retreats with his title. Charlie Caruso interviews Apollo backstage, and he says that Lashley has strength unlike anyone, and because of his full Nelson, he was out of action for weeks, during which time he has to watch MVP parade around pretending he was the U.S. champion, and his kids ask why. But now he's the undisputed United States champion, and with the title, MVP paid for no less, and he really appreciates it. Alright, back to commercial breaks. We see Sasha Banks and Bayley are backstage slapping their titles together. We'll be hearing from them next. We see a darkness room backstage with a bodyguard standing in front, and the announcer says whatever is inside is the brainchild of Shane McMahon. Commercial. Sarah Screever interviews Bayley and Banks backstage. She asks if they are defending all their titles at SummerSlam, and Bayley says she's boring. Instead, they brought some footage with them, an over-the-top tribute video to them that paints them the genius. Asuka appears at the end of the video, saying revenge would be very sweet. Banks and Bayley are furious, but up walks Shayna Baszler. She says Shayna shake her way to the Raw Women's Champion, and she waited in the line long enough. Baszler then drops Banks with a right hand and walks off. Shayna Baszler is a beast. That's all I gotta say. So my opinion, I want to see Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title. at SummerSlam, I don't mind it. That's just my opinion. But anyway, I agree with Sammy Talks. There should be no more rematches. So shout out to you, Sammy Talks. I know you're watching this video. Alright, then we cut to the Kevin Owens show with the Iconics. You know, Kevin Owens talk show. Kevin Owens show was didn't really looking forward to it, but I'm just going to say, look, Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan versus the Iconics. Terrible tag match anyway, but they're back together. So Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott are back together. So it says the match starts with Ruby and Billy, and Riott forces her to the corner before taking her wrist. Ruby ducks a few punches, but Kay chops her in the throat. Kay drops Ruby and tags Peyton for a double team forearm in the back. Peyton takes a weird chin lock and holds Ruby down for a while. Billy Kay comes in, but Ruby super kicks her. Both Peyton and Liv are tagged in. Liv drops Peyton with a running forearm, and then a drop kick from the middle rope. Kay breaks the pin attempt, and then drags Ruby in the corner and tags herself in. Liv hits a small package for the win. The winner of the match, Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. And this match was decent, but at the same time, it was just terrible to me. All right, let me move on. Then let me move on. The 24 slash before that, Nia Jax was in the ring, and I heard that Nia Jax was suspended was suspended on Monday Night Raw. Thank God that Nia Jax is suspended. That's all I gotta say. Then we see 24/7 champion Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin versus R-Truth versus Akira Tozawa. I didn't even really care about this match because that 24/7 championship needs to go. But anyway, the winner of the match and your new 24/7 champion, Akira Tozawa. Then Shane McMahon is backstage with a ring and no ropes where two guys are brawling with Prosciutto MMA. Dozens of random guys are around in the ring smacking it. Shane says he's back and bringing something new to Monday Night Raw. And so tune in at 10 p.m. for Raw Underground. I asked this question. What is it? What is Raw Underground? This reminds me, that looks like MMA. It looks just like MMA. But anyway, I gave Raw Underground a chance, and I like what I see. That's all I gotta say. I didn't complain about Raw Underground. That's all I gotta say. All right, move on. Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks. This match itself was fantastic. Sasha Banks had a lot of counters. I like that, but the outcome is that Asuka attacked Bayley, and they ruled a disqualification, which is that don't make any sense. But it says here, there was no contest, so this match ruled as no contest. So that's all I gotta say from here. All right, let me move on. Then we move to Angelo Dawkins with Montez Ford versus Angel Garza. This match was pretty good. It says the winner of the match, Angel Garza. Then we see Montez Ford versus was it Angelo Dawkins? Yeah, Angelo Dawkins versus Angel Garza. This match was pretty good. Then the winner of the match, Angel Garza. Then we get Montez Ford versus Andrade, which is also a pretty good match. This was a pretty good match, but the outcome is that Montez Ford was collapsed. He collapsed right there. I guess Montez Ford had food, like somebody poisoned his drink, whatever. Then we see Selena Vega and Bianca Belair backstage was brawling. Then Dawkins had to break up Bianca Belair, and Angel Garza had to break up Selena Vega. So that's all I gotta say. And I hope Montez Ford is okay. But anyway, let me move on. Then we see the announcer shows us security footage of earlier today from outside the Performance Center. A group of 5 hooded people, including at least one female, ran up and tossed the Molotov cocktail at the generator before running off. Commercial break. Alright, then we see. Now, this part made me laugh. This promo itself was good by Seth Rollins. We see Seth Rollins cutting a promo. Then he was talking to Tom Phillips. Then Samoa Joe stepped in, and he said, and he defended Tom Phillips. Then the funny part is that Samoa Joe was finna step in the ring, and then until Dominic came out and started attacking Seth Rollins and Murphy. Then Samoa Joe ran back to the commentator table. That part was funny. That part was funny. Don't get me wrong. That was funny by Samoa Joe. But anyway, let me move on. Then we see the WWE Underground, and that's all I gotta say. Then that's all I gotta say. It says Seth moves to the announcer table and stares at Tom and says, last week when Dominic attacked him with a candlestick, Phillips cheered him on. Seth says Tom's voice matters and he's part of the greater good and he should call it down the middle. Otherwise, he's liability and the time has come to find a new voice for Monday Night Raw. Seth then insults Murphy to take Tom Phillips. Murphy walks up and Samoa Joe stand up. Joe tells him that's not going to happen, so they can go back in the ring or slap him and be his disciple in front of him. And if he has a problem with Tom, well he was laughing more than anybody when Dominic whips him with the candlestick. Seth tells Joe he doesn't want to do this, but Joe says he does, and he takes his headset off. Rollins and Murphy run back into the ring, and Seth tells Joe to come and get it. Joe takes his jacket off and smiles. That's all I gotta say. Then we see, then when we return, it says commercial break. We return as Joe is still on the outside of the ring, but both Murphy and Rollins have steel chairs. Dominic runs in from behind and hits Seth with a stick. Then Seth grabs it and swings, but eventually hits Murphy. Dominic knocks Seth down and hits a 619. Dominic then gets on the top rope and jumps onto both of them. Then grabs back inside and grabs the steel chair. Seth is furious and says Dominic has his match at SummerSlam. We're back in the underground and Dolph is wrestling someone. Dolph rolls through, flattens the guy out and gets a weird naked choke. Dolph actually looks like he knows some MMA. MVP, Lashley, and Shelton appears in the underground and Lashley gets into the mat. MVP has the announcement to make. Raw Underground is under the management of the Hurt Business, so let's get things started with the CEO. Lashley takes his shirt off and some random guy steps up. Lashley slams him and then drops him with the right hand, and the guy is out. MVP gets on the mat and says he wants some of this. MVP targets the tiny guy and hits him with a judo throw, and then lands some nice sharp elbows before Lashley throws him out of the ring by the belt. MVP asks who's next. Shelton steps up against someone who looks a lot like Ditto Madden. Shelton hits a double leg takedown and knees him until he falls out of the ring. MVP asks if there's anyone else. They go off the mat and attack whoever is standing at ringside. The Hurt Business beat everyone down, and Shane McMahon says they're amazing. They can hang out as long as they like. The Hurt Business put their jackets back on, and Shane says he can't wait for next week. MVP says they are the Hurt Business, and the business is booming. That's it for Raw. That's it for this week's Raw. Let us know what your thoughts of all the new storylines in Raw Underground. And come back tomorrow for more news. Until then, it's safe. This how I feel. I'm just going to keep it real. This how I feel about Monday Night Raw. That's how I feel about Monday Night Raw. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think of Monday Night Raw. This your boy Big Boy John 25. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below in the description. The comment section is yours. And all I gotta say is, in my own opinion, I'm lost for words. But my opinion is this: I gave WWE Underground, Raw Underground a chance. In my opinion, some people say it was terrible. Some people say it was terrible, but me, I enjoyed it for what it is. But anyway, let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of Raw. I already said how I feel about Monday Night Raw. I'm sure you guys again. And I know TM was watching. He's just like me. So shouts to TM, shouts to everybody. But like I said earlier, if you guys enjoy my WWE Raw review and highlights, drop a like on the video. Share the video. My Twitter, my Instagram, and TikTok will be down below in the description. And that's all I got to say from me here. This your boy Big Boy John 25. I'll see you guys in the next video. Big Boy John 25. And I'm out of here.